cloud, right? Okay. So yeah, just for the record, so this is the second session of Q Science Days 2022, and our first speaker is going to be Adam Glos. So Adam, please start your presentation.
Thank you for the introduction. I will have relatively quick talk about QIntern program, a little bit about past two editions of QIntern, and about the approaching one. As I said, my name is Adam Glos, and I am also coordinator of this program together with Aritra Sarkar, Oskar Słowik, and Zoltan Zimboras. So what is the goal of QIntern? What is QIntern itself? QIntern is a remote internship program where interns can work with mentors on some particular project. What is the project? What the project can be about? It can be about writing research papers, conducting some research, developing software, preparing educational materials, or any relevant website, as long as it is related to quantum computing. As I will say later, we have very broad topics. Because of this, the particular goal is to create meaningful content, but what's perhaps even more important is that intern can gain new experience thanks to their collaborative work with the more experienced mentors, and mentors can find interns with very particular and varying skills, which may be particularly helpful for conducting some research ideas or other topics. What we believe is particularly important, and this was actually happening after past editions, is that few projects resulted in longer collaboration. I even know that one of the intern was hired later in the university where a mentor was working. Taking all of this goes into account, we still plan to keep organizing QIntern 2020 in general QIntern programs, and in particular QIntern 2022 event is approaching. Let me start with reminding how previous editions look like. The first edition, actually the pilot one, was 2 years ago, and actually it was mostly announced in our internal networks on our QWorld Discord channel or Slack channel. Still, we have 15 a very interesting project led by 20 mentors. Some of them were from QWorld Association, but we also had external researchers. And there were around 29 interns. Actually, if we think it's not that big number. However, even with this limited number of project and interns, we were able, mentors with the intern were able to produce some very interesting results. This includes 2 published papers thanks to the project led by Abuzer Karimas and Ozan Salehi, but also an open source project about visualization of open blocks. Since we agreed, QIntern 2020 was very big success given the resources we spent on them. We obviously decided to repeat this idea. And this is how we started QIntern in 2021, but this time we actually started announcing this not on our local media, but also using social channels like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. This way, we managed to start 26 successful projects, many of them started by people external to QWorld. Then they were worked by 27 mentors, and there was a huge interest on the intern side. 450 interns actually registered to participate in this event. Not all of them were chosen for mentors, but 170 interns were decided that their work was sufficiently important and useful that they deserved the diploma. I should mention here that the choice whether intern deserves a diploma was solely made by mentors. It was mentors who decide whether a diploma should be granted for given interns. So this also shows how these internships can be useful for mentors. Also, for this event, we have many outcomes. This includes some research papers, mostly preprint at this moment, but let me just remind that the internship started around 11 months ago, so still many work needs to be done between starting collaboration and publishing the results, also taking into account the review process. Still, already we have published work made by project led by Debasmita Bomik and Ritajit Majumdar. But also we have other kind of outcomes. For example, Zeki Seskir, a member of our QWorld, created a website about, let me just quote this, mapping the landscape of quantum education. And also, Oxana Mishina started, this is still ongoing work, to work on education materials for quantum annealing. The materials which similar as bronze or silver materials developed by QWorld can be used for, or will be used in the future for teaching how to use quantum annealers. One thing is that having nice, useful outcome is very important, but also what is important to us is opinion about our event. There were many very positive opinions. Also, there were many very useful feedbacks which we plan to incorporate. Many of them were already incorporated. Here on the slide, I just wanted to present two very interesting ones made by mentors of QIntern 2021, and one intern also from the same from QIntern 2021. For the mentors, and this is was pointed both by Ritajit and other researchers. There was a very unique experience of how a group of interns could be led so that the project conducted will be as effective as possible. This is also, we think, a unique experience which could in particular be provided by QIntern during the QIntern event. What we could also tell about QIntern 2021 is that this particular session we started includes many results started during QIntern 2021. In particular, Paweł Gora, who is going to be a next speaker, will talk about application of vehicle routing problems on quantum computing. This was a huge project initiated during the last event, but also the following two talks, both about applying quantum computation to music composition or reduction, were either started or simply conducted during the last event. So I believe that for many of you, this will be very good presentation, which could well describe what actually can be done during this relatively short, because it's a 2-month internship, but also during the extended collaboration. Right now, we continue on organizing the QIntern 2022. We already have 16 projects which we already know that they are accepted and they are published on our website. We are still looking for both projects and interns. For both calls, the deadline is 8th of June. And just to quickly summarize how this QInternship works is that we have a 2-week recruitment phase. This recruitment phase will consist of 2 parts, both taking 1 week to simplify the recruitment. Then there will be almost 2-month collaboration, which obviously may continue after the event. We wish all the mentors to continue their researching with the group. And then at the very end of this event, there will be 2 days mini workshop where projects, internal mini workshop, where teams working on the QIntern project can present what they achieved so far and what could be the possible plans of extending these results. During this event will be mostly held on Discord, dedicated Discord server. We also plan to provide Git repositories on either GitLab or, from this year, also on GitHub services. This is all what I wanted to say about what happened to how were the previous and the current QInternship programs. Again, let me invite all of you, whether intern or mentor, to participate in our event. The event website, which I will later also copy to the Quantum Science Days dedicated channels, is as in here. And if you have any questions about the event or in general, I will be happy to answer them.
Okay, great. Thank you, Adam. There are actually questions. I'm checking both the Zoom and also the Discord. So we have questions in the Zoom. Let me start with the question from Oxana. So she's asking what type of diploma is granted, or I think which I also find the most interesting. So how do you certify the students?
There are several kinds of diplomas. As in the previous years, we will be responsible for handing the diplomas to interns, for which mentors decide that these interns were sufficiently active. We plan to send two kinds of diplomas, one for just active interns, and also for interns which were particularly active for the event. Again, this will be technical issues will be on our side, but mentors will decide which interns which intern deserve the diploma. Also, we plan to give certificates to mentors. We haven't yet agreed on how this will be held. Probably we'll try this year to make also this in the other direction, meaning that interns may give their opinion on the mentors, how they liked working with such mentors. Furthermore, and this is something I should mention, during this mini workshop, we plan to have competitions for best project and presentation. We will plan to look for a committee from outside the QIntern 2022 participants. We also managed to do this last year, so we hope that this will be also possible this time. And this obviously will also result in some additional diplomas.
Okay, thank you for the exhaustive answer. We actually still have time in the program, so I will go on with the other questions. So I think you have raised quite some interest, and one of the questions is, can you just quickly outline how the recruitment phase, so how is the interviewing and the selection process takes place?
So this year we plan to make two-stage process. Both stages will take 1 week. There are many details behind, but maybe not many, but too many to say all of them during this short talk. In particular, interns will choose the project they are particularly interested. Then they will have 1 week to present themselves for the mentors. After this 1 week, mentors will choose eligible interns, the interns they would like to work with. And then this process will repeat for another week. We decided to do it this way because last year we have only one stage, but then we find out that the mentors were a little bit overwhelmed with the number of interns. So this year, the first stage will have a smaller number of interns. the full number of interns for each project in the first stage, and hopefully this will be similar for the second stage, where some interns will be already chosen.
Mm-hmm. And technically, it's going to be somehow similar, right? Everything is going to be on Discord, and somehow similar what we see in what we see now here in the Q Science Days, that each mentor or project will have their own channel.
Yes,
and that's where the
very
discussions are going to be happening.
We already try to make this from the technical perspective as pleasant to both mentors and interns as possible, within the possibility of Discord server. Because, like, also, unfortunately, not everything can be done on the Discord as much as we wanted.
Yeah, great. So last question: do you have any tips for applying to the interns or even the?
Actually, this is a very interesting question, because of a particular reason that I was asked this question many times, both in this and last event. Unfortunately, there's no unique answer. The thing is that there are very different projects, and this project may require very different skills. Let me in particular mention that, in particular, my project is strongly focused on the researching, with the focus on the optimization process. Actually, there are many projects focused on the optimization. So, for example, I would expect from a person that, for example, be a relatively good coder and know some basic quantum optimization. But for example, I hope I don't misspell it. Oxana Mishina has a very interesting project about the diversity in the quantum community. Here, likely explicit knowledge about quantum science may be less important, but some good communication skills and maybe even coding skills, in order to make some good analysis of website contents, could be more useful.
So maybe a good tip is
I would focus on the strengths. Think very well what are your strengths, which of these strengths will be particularly useful for the mentor, and try to convince the mentor you are exactly the intern they want to. Let's use the word hire. This is free for both mentors and interns.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Oh, thank you very much. We probably have 2 more minutes, so we're going. Yeah, thank you, Elham. Thanks, the speaker, and hey.